Good afternoon, conference. My name is George Igler, and I'm the director of Discourse, which is Britain's Institute for Free Speech. We research, collate evidence and information on people who've been prosecuted for free speech abuses and devise action plans with the aim of reverse lawfare, of attacking these prosecutions in the courts. So consequently, I was very happy to answer Igler's invitation, given the opportunity of hearing three of the people who internationally have been the most prominent subjects of these prosecutions, Frau Sabotage-Wolf, Mr. Hedegaard, and of course Mr. Stein. And as a person interested in defending people who are prosecuted for exercising free speech, I kind of feel like an insurance salesman in a conference of potential customers after listening to this morning and this afternoon. If you had told my parents in the 1970s, when they chose to emigrate from then communist Hungary to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, that within 3 decades it would be a weekly occurrence that people would be put in prison for nothing more than the sounds that came out of their mouths, they would have told you that you were mad. I come at this problem from a different direction. I'm not interested in the OIC. I'm not interested in the Istanbul process. I come at it from the ordinary person, the person who's prosecuted for saying the wrong thing on the bus or saying thing on Twitter that they shouldn't have done. And my view, I disagree with a lot of people here, is that this is where the real issue lies. It's these kind of prosecutions that normalize something in the public opinion that shouldn't be normalized. For me, the problem isn't any religion. It's multiculturalism and how it's introduced multi-ethnic societies in which the state has suddenly been given this role of referee between what people say. And this is a role that the state should never have. The state should fundamentally not be in the business of telling us what we can and cannot say. Now, all of us, hopefully, can be in agreement. I certainly disagree with a lot of people in this room, but I'm sure that we can agree that there are misanthropic bigots in the world, and furthermore, we would probably prefer to live in a world in which they don't exist. But when the criminal justice system starts being used as a sort of means of socially engineering these people out of existence, then that's when someone like me, who's originally a political analyst, starts to sit up and take notice. When you have someone called Darren Conway, who's an odious little chap, who put up posters offensive to a religion, and consequently got a year in prison, and the prosecutor says, any right-minded person would be offended by this. What does he mean by a right-minded person? When you have Liam Stacey, who's a 19-year-old from Newcastle University student, he tweets something, he gets drunk, he tweets a racist thing against a footballer, and he gets 6 weeks in prison, and the judge tells him, I have no option but to send you to prison to reflect the public outrage at what you have done. Now, I don't know about you, but I live in a country in which the judicial establishment and the legal establishment has long since abandoned the idea that prison works as a real means of correcting criminal behavior. They don't really think that it does. But all of a sudden, forbidden behavior of thought, prison comes out again. Why on earth are people in the 21st century being put in prison in Europe for what they say? There's something wrong here. Any society that thinks you put people in prison for what they say is sick. So the question is how you solve the problem. And that's why it's a great pleasure to follow someone like Gavin. I don't believe the problem is solved through means of politics or campaigning or think tanks. What I want to do is attack these things in the courts. Attack these attacks on free speech. Take the fight to those who want to put people in prison for what they say. And the reason why I've authored this report, which if you contact the conference organizers you can read, is that it might be of interest to some people here, because what I've managed to do is some things that a lot of people in organizations who might have the same aims have found difficult, I have found to be quite easy. A lot of people have found it difficult to further their aims and get the attention of the press. Well, I don't need to get the attention of the press. The press come to me. A lot of people are try to get the attention of and the sympathy of politicians, and they find that they're pushed at arm's length. I have had discussions about very prominent politicians wanting to be the political face of my organization, and that hasn't happened by chance. There's an analytical reason for that. There's a structural reason for that, and I outline that in the second part of the paper. The final part is essentially the way the organization is now is that we have, under the radar, we have academic support, we have political support, we have think tank support. We have a lot of barristers willing to take these cases completely pro bono. But what we don't have is that if these cases are found against us, it could be £100,000 here. It could be £100,000 there. It may take 3 or 4 cases to implement political change. What do I mean by political change? This 19-year-old boy, to take him as an example, tweeted the wrong thing. His life is over now. He was a law student. He's not going to be, with a criminal record, he's not going to end up in Linklaters. So what do we mean by political change? We mean taking Britain from a country in which people are prosecuted for free speech more and more, and turning it into a country in which this is done less and less. And the means that we do it is through the courts. And this is a very resource-hungry, very financially hungry project. So if you know any multimillionaires who are at death's door, don't have any children, want to leave a legacy, do get in contact with me. But the point is that it is not a human resource-hungry project. It's not a project that involves getting political change, having this contingent on 2 million people voting in the right direction. It doesn't need 60 permanent staff, but it does need 6, and we don't have the resources for that at the moment. I'm nearly finished. And crucially, it is not a time-hungry project. Political change, campaigning change. Oh, well, we're going to form an organization, and then we're going to campaign, and then we're going to have a conference, and then we're going to have a speaker evening, and then we're going to have members, and then maybe have more members and change public. These are projects with 5-year views, 10-year views, 15-year views. A political solution is electorally cycle dependent, a 4-year electoral cycle view, a 10-year electoral cycle view. My project has the opportunity of making change within a 9-month view, within a 12-month view, within a 24-month view. And if you're interested in compressing that time frame, then I would point you to the third and last part of the paper. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.